So over the summer when we began learning about IRLA, we realized that that would be a great fit for our school K-5, and that was something that we were interested in implementing. It just fit naturally with our school-wide focus. And one of the things that we felt like we needed to do was build a literacy team. So we identified 3 teachers at our school who would be what we wound up calling our leveling team. We used a 1st grade teacher, Taryn Bolstead, and we selected a 3rd grade teacher, Sarah Fitzpatrick, and a 4th grade teacher, Valerie Hammond. And these teachers were able to attend several of the trainings with us. They were the teachers who offered to conference with students from those grade levels during their conferencing time or even during their planning time. They worked with teachers who felt like maybe they weren't comfortable with the current level or they weren't sure. One of the purposes of these teachers was to help the teachers become more comfortable with implementing IRLA. A big need with our school that our teachers had identified for us was to work with conferencing. Even though we had done it previously, it was something that we realized needed to be more narrow and more succinct. We wanted to conference with more students during that 30-minute block, and the other piece was we needed to learn how to really focus in on what IRLA calls a power goal, and that way we could really identify what student reading needs are and work to close that gap quicker for our, not just our struggling readers, but even our intermediate readers that we found out had gaps within their reading instruction.
Their feet to help them drive underwater.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Did you see this word?
Webbed.
Webbed, yep. You said, I think you said it a little bit different, and when you took your time and looked at it, you said it right, okay? And this one, what was this one?
Paddles.
Paddles, yep. Okay, so you need to make sure that you're not reading too fast, right? And you're missing words? Okay. All right, so what, if we're going to keep this goal, what are we looking for in an informational book?
Facts.
Facts, yep.
Every month we've tried to get into the classrooms in our school to level our students to see how many of our students, what percentage are leveled correctly, and then what percentage of students are maybe needing to move up a level or move down some levels. And as a result of our first 2 level checks, what we found was that 85% of our students are either leveled correctly or in need of moving up.
And what I want you to do is going to be your power goal. You're going to be thinking about your characters. Do you think you could tell me what you're going to be thinking about as you read? Mm-hmm. What were you going to think about?
I'm going to think about the motivation, their feelings, and what they do in the story.
Perfect. So now I'm going to write it just like that. You told me their actions, their feelings, and their motivation. Awesome. All right, so can you reread it for me?
I can think about my character's actions, feelings, and motivations.
Awesome. The students are definitely able to monitor themselves with their comprehension a lot more than they have in the past. They have the vocabulary and the common understanding and language that we're using as teachers, so then they're applying that into their text as they're reading on their own or with peers. And even at home, we've heard from parents that, you know, the students are almost mimicking the teacher in a sense as they're reading, which allows them to see exactly what they are doing as a reader in the classroom.
That our conferencing is going well and that our students are responding to our conferencing with them and that they are really working on those power goals to help them close the gaps in their reading.